Coats exist. Coats exist. Coats exist. All right, I'm trying to come up with a theme song. It's not working out. I stopped prank coats exist. I stopped prank phone calling people years ago, but I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. I was just thinking about it. I used to just call people up and be like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" I used to be like, me and my friend used to call his ex-girlfriend, and I'd be like, "Hello, I have your Tyrannosaurus Rex bones," and she'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "I have your Tyrannosaurus Rex bones. I'm keeping them." She'd be like, "I don't have Tyrannosaurus Rex bones." I'd be like, "No, you do, and I have them now." It was just stupid stuff like that. Or I'd call people up and I'd just be like, "Hey, what's up?" So, and me and my friends would hang up and giggle like we just did the funniest thing on the planet. But I used to... Oh, I remember one time when I worked at a pizza place, this kid called me up. He tried to prank me. And it didn't work. He was like, "Hey, I want to order a large pizza." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "But I don't want any dough on it." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "No, I don't want any like dough or crust or anything." And I was like, "Yep, no problem. You just want sauce and cheese." He's like, "Well, I don't think I just don't want any." I was like, no, I'll just mix sauce and cheese around in a bowl. No problem. He's like, "But I don't." "Never mind." And he hung up, and I was like, "Yeah, I got you, fucker." But, I got you, fucker. Fucker. I got you, fucker. I hope he's listening right now. I know nobody's listening, but in case there is somebody that knows him, who knows somebody 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 who knows him, that would be great if you could tell him that I knew it was a prank. But I'm trying to make the most annoying podcast in the world, I guess, by playing music and doing weird stuff. That's annoying. Anyways, but I used to prank this guy that I worked with in Philly. I pranked him for 3 years. It started out because my job, I was a driver. I delivered stuff, so I would drive around this truck, and I would get bored. So I would just star 67 his number, which I got off the board, and I would call him up. They listed on the board everybody's number, so I'd get his number, and I would call him up, and I'd be like, "Hey, it's me, John." And he'd be like, "Who's John? I don't know any John." I'd be like, "No, it's me, John. I'm coming over your house." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm bringing hot dogs." He'd be like, "What? I don't know John." I was like, "No, it's me. I'm coming over. I'm bringing hot dogs. I'm on my horse." And he'd be like, "What do you mean you're on your horse?" And he started, he believed everything I said. And so that it started out just stupid stuff like that. And I would just constantly call up as this guy, John. I'd be like, "Hey, it's me, John. I'm coming over. I'm bringing baseball mitts. I'm going to play catch." And he'd be like, "I don't want to play catch with you. Blah, blah, blah." And he'd be like, "Where's your father?" And I'd be like, "I'm 12 years old." So I was this 12-year-old kid, John, that would call him up and just annoy him with like the dumbest stuff. He'd be like, "John, you got to stop calling me." I'd be like, "I'm hiding in the cupboard from my mom." And he'd be like, Why are you hiding? What's wrong?" I'd be like, "I'm hiding on her. She's scaring me." And he'd be like, "It's going to be okay, John." And like, so it was just like, I never said anything bad though. It was all like innocent, stupid stuff. And he would always get pissed off. He'd get pissed off like 99% of the time. When he was home with his wife, he'd go along with it a little bit, but it was so anyways, the point is it got like super intricate. Like it started off harmless, and then it got really, really intricate. And I got other people involved, and it turned out that this kid, John, wasn't really a kid. He was really a man. And he was part of this conspiracy with this other guy, Steve. And I had all my friends involved. And we would call up my coworker, and we somehow convinced him that we owed him $11,000. It didn't make any sense. And he believed us. So I'd call him up, and I'd be like, "Hey, I left your money at the Sunoco on 5th Street," and like I'd hang up, and I'd see him run out and jump on his bicycle and ride to the Sunoco, and then he'd come back all pissed off with an envelope and crumpled up Monopoly money, because I'd give him Monopoly money in the envelope, and he'd be like, "These fuckers, they keep fucking with me, but they owe me $11,000." So it just got wild and crazy and super intricate. And I wish that I could prank people like that still today, because this was over 65 years ago. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't want anybody to think that it's them that I'm talking about. But I mean, that's cocky of me to think that anybody is listening to this stupid thing. But nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. It ended. I forget how it ended. It just kind of fizzled out. But one of the last things that happened is I would call as John when my coworker was with the guy we were pranking, and then my coworker would call as John when I was with the coworker we were pranking. So, he never suspected either one of us, and he changed his number like fucking so many times, and then he'd post it back on the board, and then he went to the cops, and he tried explaining to the cops that there's this guy coming over trying to bring hot dogs on his horse, but and the cops were like, what are you talking? So anyways, it ended when I quit, and I called him up, and I was like, "Hey, it's me." And he'd be like, how'd you get this number? What's going on? I'd be like, "No, it's me. I left something for you in the parking lot. I left you a box of fruit." And my coworker who still worked there put a box of fruit out in the middle of the parking lot, and he hung up the phone and ran out into the parking lot and kicked the fruit, and the fruit sprayed all over the road. It just went all over the road, and it hit this passing car, and some guy pulled over whose car it hit, and he jumped down. He's like, "What the hell, man?" He's like, "Why'd you just kick fruit at my car?" He's like, "No, there's this guy John who's trying to bring hot dogs over my house," and he's like, "I don't give a fuck. You just kicked fruit at my house." He's like, "He's trying to bring hot dogs and he won't stop calling me. He puts this in the middle of the..." He's like, "I don't give a shit." And they called the cops, and this whole thing happened. But I don't know. It was wild. But like I said, this is over 74 years ago, so it's irrelevant now. Nobody could get in trouble. All parties involved are probably passed away by now. But so yeah, that's the story of the 7-year. And I wish I could do the 3-year prank. I wish I could do. Pranks aren't fun anymore. I don't know. Nobody answers the number if it's from a blocked. I remember when. I'm sure so many people talk about this, but it's just like you had to answer your phone completely cold. Just be like, "Hello?" You had no idea who it was. "Hello? Hello, this is Capital One Credit." And you'd have to hang up. Or you'd be like, "Hello?" And it'd be like, "Hi, is Jimmy there?" "Oh, okay." And then you call your brother Jimmy. But it was just so weird. Like, imagine, like, just you text somebody now if you're interested in them. You don't even have to call them and see their face or hear their voice or worry about what to say. You could just construct it in a perfect way and then send it. But it's just like, back then you'd have to call, and like I said, I know everybody talks about this, but you'd have to call and talk to like somebody's father or mother or sister. "Hey, is Jenny there?" Yeah, hold on one second. "Jenny, it's for you. It's some guy. I don't know." Then you talk to Jenny and you hear in the background, like, "Who is that? His voice sounds stupid." And I'd be like, "Hi, Jenny. I don't know. I like you or something." And I don't know. I could never figure out what to say on the phone anyways. So then my mom would pick up on the line. She'd be like, "Joey, dinner's ready. Who's on the phone? Who are you on the phone with?" I'd be like, please don't embarrass me right now." She'd be like, "Who are you on the phone with? Tell him you gotta go." And then she'd hang up, but she wouldn't really hang up. I'd still hear her breathing. She'd be like, I'm like, "Mom, what do you..." So that's why I'm paranoid and I have anxiety probably because stuff like that. But yeah, and I hated. Do you ever have parents tell you what to say on the phone? Okay, I'm not supposed to ask questions, but I used to have parents. No, I would have my parents. They would tell me to call somebody, and then they'd tell me what to say before the person answered. And then while the person was on the phone, they'd be telling me what to say. "No, tell him you can't go till Tuesday." And that person would be talking about something completely different, having nothing to do with Tuesday or days or anything. They'd be like, "I'm eating cookies." "Tell him you can't go till Tuesday." I'd be like, "Mom, no, just tell him you can't go till Tuesday." "Mom, she's talking about cookies. I can't." So it just didn't make any sense. But yeah. I think it was much more fun back then. And then, before everybody had their own lines and knew everybody's phone numbers. You'd have to ride your bike to somebody's house. How creepy was that? Just some random kid knocking on your door. Hey, is Louie home? Can Louie come out and play? People still do that? Ugh, they probably don't even hang out with each other. They probably just FaceTime like, yo, what's up? I'm eating chips. I know we could do this together in your bedroom, but instead we're just going to do it in separate bedrooms with headphones on and just play each other in this video game because that's what we're going to do. I mean, I see kids riding bikes and stuff up and down the street over here, but what am I doing right now? Am I the old man on the rocking chair, like complaining about the youth? I just think it was funny that back in those days, you'd have to, like, I would go to my friend's house just randomly, and they'd be like throwing rocks at each other. People's faces would be all bloody, teeth knocked out, and like one time, my one friend was up in a tree. Like, Mike's up in a tree, he's stuck. And I like looked up, and I remember the tree probably wasn't as big as I remember, but I remember it was like a redwood. It was the size of a redwood in my head, and he was way up in the tree, and then he was just like, I'm stuck. And we had to get everybody's parents, and I forget how they got him down. They probably just reached up and grabbed him, but in my mind, it was the size of a redwood. It's probably 10 feet tall. But yeah, it was just crazy back then. Just, I don't know. It was fun. It was fun being a kid because there was a sense of, like, you just ride around. You just ride your bike around. You just be like, oh, what is this new path? Let me go ride up this path. And you'd find kids in the back, like teenagers smoking crack and stuff. And they'd be like, hey, come on, you want a hit? Because everybody knew they could get away with it. So they just ask you, like, random stuff. You want a hit of crack cocaine? But yeah, I miss prank phone calls.